Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering April 24th through the 30th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So I want to start by acknowledging Earth Day that was on April 22nd. Spring has popped here. It was a gorgeous day. It was so nice to be outside, getting fresh air. My sunroof was open and I can feel alive again coming out of here over in New England, that hibernation cocoon. So we do have some energy stirring up this week, and I find that if you're prepared and just aware, you can go into these experiences with a positive outlook, right? So Mercury Retrograde, or the planet Mercury, and it's going direct and retrograde, has kind of gotten a bad rap, right? But if you can prepare and make adjustments as you're conscious and you're paying attention and you're aware, you can move through it smooth sailing. So we are in the pre-shadow phase. I believe Mercury goes retrograde in May, on either the 10th or the 15th, but it will happen in a few weeks. And on top of that, at the end of the month, so April 30th, at the end of the week here, the new moon solar eclipse will be activated in Taurus. So we're already starting to feel that energy. I'm not going to get too much into the eclipses in this week's reading, but if you do want to know more about this new moon solar eclipse in Taurus, again, to prepare yourself, Tanya Gabrielle and Molly McCord have phenomenal channels where they're incredibly detailed, mainstream, down to earth, and they're genuinely loving, kind, very knowledgeable women in this field. So I would encourage you to pop over on their pages if you're curious about this eclipse season we're going into. So again, I bring it up to share it with you because, again, if things are going awry or blips, or we have to kind of backtrack in a way, just taking a deep breath. When I know these things are coming and I'm feeling myself getting worked up or activated or confused, I dropped a whole box of stuff that I had to return today on the floor. It made a big mess. Nothing broke, but it's just kind of like I knew I needed, before I walked out of the door and got on the road, I knew I needed to just take a deep breath, relax, breathe, soften, and open. So it's so beautiful when you're present, when you're aware, and you're in tune with your body, because it will give you a heads up on where your energy is at. Again, curiosity. And having making these minor adjustments can really shift the whole rest of the day. So after that little blip, I was rushing around. I was pressed for time. I dropped the whole box and I could feel myself getting worked up. And so just taking that pause to relax, take a deep breath, soften my body, and being open and receptive to the divine clearing the way for me, shifting the energy. And I had an awesome day. I got everywhere I needed to be, and there were no lines, and the people are friendly, which, speaking of that, I do have to say I have been out and about the last few weeks, and I am just so grateful. There are so many kind human beings on this planet. And I know certain outlets that we tap into would beg to differ, but I have to say, friends, I have been out and about, and I have been aligning with just really kind strangers, people smiling, acknowledging smiles at each other, laughing, patience. It's just been really wonderful. And again, that could just be my energy and a byproduct of the shifting that I've been doing within myself. But I would love to know if you're also experiencing that energy out there. It's really lovely. And I do have to say, I was in a store and I was making a return, and the pants that I had on still had I bought the pants online and they still had the sensor on it. So when I walked into the store, alarms sounded. And I was like, oh goodness. And I thought it was the clothes I was returning. But when I went to walk out, it went off again. And so the lady that was standing there, she goes, it's okay. She's like, you're making an entrance. How wonderful is that? And it was just, again, it just kind of set off the whole day. So, of course, as I always share, when I left and had a really positive interaction with those ladies in the store, I got in the car and I just paused and I said, God, send me more people like that in my life, or something even better. I want to experience more of that in my life, or something even better. And remember, when you do that in the moment, because you're present, you're aware, you're sowing the seeds, and you don't have to do any more manifesting. You don't have to set any more intentions. You're doing it in the moment, right? You're already sowing the seeds, and it really just set up the whole rest of my day. So to prepare, Mercury will be going retrograde in the beginning to middle of May, and it's a time to renew, redo, review. So again, dotting your I's, crossing your T's. I try not to buy anything when Mercury is retrograde. Personally, in the past, I've had hiccups, I've had bumps, I've had delivery issues, and so I just know that I opt out of buying anything other than food in a grocery store. And one of the Mercury retrogrades, the cashier accidentally dropped a whole bottle of olive oil on the floor during that phase. So again, I'm just aware of those things happening. I try to make adjustments and I prepare myself, and I usually have smooth sailing through those experiences. It is a time to I want to say, I don't know why this is, like, release the hounds. Like, that's just what's coming to me. So if you've been backed up with emotions, if you've been skirting around an issue, if you've been avoiding, obviously that's the time that stuff comes up and out again, so that it can be released, so that it can be healed. So I just want to send you extra love and patience and kindness and compassion, as we move through May. So what else? So the new moon solar eclipse in Taurus, I talked about that. The retrograde. Okay, so the retrograde will be on May 10th. It's a really great time to be an empathetic listener. So again, people who are not consciously aware of the energy shifts, and we're going into the eclipse tunnel and Mercury retrograde, so it would be a good time for you to be an empathetic listener. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to take on people's tension or stress, but if you are a caregiver who doesn't necessarily need to listen to respond, I can tell you it's just so amazing to be heard, to be listened to. I have conversations with my cousin every single day, and we just listen to each other and we just talk things out, and I cannot speak enough on how valuable it is to have a friend, a confidant, a person in your life where you can talk without judgment, without anything in return, without expectations, especially without judgment. So again, if you're in a transitional space and you're making adjustments with your friends and family as we move through this year, this 6 universal year connected to home and family and love and community and connection, as you make adjustments with what those words mean to you, again, asking for that when you experience kindness in some way. Bring me more of that in my life, or something even better. I want friends like that, or something even better. It's just a minor pause in the experience and feeling the energy, and then that ripples out profusely. It's like a dam that opens up, right? And just goes out into the ethers. It's like we've got to communicate and express how we're feeling in all facets with the divine, and that is their way to be able to support us, right? If we bottle it all up, we can create resentment and anger and frustration. So here is your heads up. Here is your prep. And again, setting good intentions for you to move through it easily and effortlessly. Let's begin. So I'm going to work with, seeing that we just celebrated Earth Day, I'm going to celebrate with the Earth cards. Cards that remind me of Mother Earth this week. So I'm going to start with pulling a theme for us this week from the Earth Magic Oracle cards. And then your message of healing will come from Flower Therapy Oracle cards. And your action steps this week will come from Nature's Whispers. And what you're being gifted with this week will come from the Butterfly Oracle cards. And finally, your message of love will come from the Archangel Animal deck. All right, let's begin. I want to invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that any guidance that comes through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends. Mother Earth. I'm going to connect my heart to the heart of Mother Earth. Ooh, she's alive with energy. So, Mother Earth, what is the most important theme that you want to share with us to support us this week, us Earth Angels? That was easy. And let's begin. Music and harmony. I love it. I was just talking about how important it is to have a companion, a friend. So if you are feminine, female, a woman, and resonate with that energy, remember, even if you have a masculine counterpart, masculine companion, women, we need our girlfriends. So I just had mentioned in the intro, in case you skipped ahead, I just mentioned the importance of friendship and having somebody to connect with who's non-judgmental, who's opening, exudes unconditional love, and how wonderful it is to know somebody is out there listening, not necessarily to respond or problem solve, but just listening as an empathetic listener, right? So I don't get to interact with many people physically because I work a lot. So I don't necessarily have a lot of time to meet up with a lot of people for lunches and coffees, although I certainly do make time. A lot of my time is consumed with work, which is fine. I mean, I love what I do. And obviously with my relationship with my boyfriend. So the way that my cousin and I communicate is through Marco Polo. And so if you're not on the app, it is awesome. So my cousin, we talk every single day, and we probably send, I don't know, between 5 and 10 polos to each other on a daily basis. And the beautiful thing about something like that, so we don't always have to. Sometimes that's the thing with companionship and friendship, is we don't always have the time, let's say, because let's face it, a lot of us are working, there's responsibilities. So I do have a few friends that are on Marco Polo, and what we do is it's a video chat app. And it's, you hit record and you're looking at yourself, which is a little weird at first. And you share your message. You talk about your day, you ask questions, and then you hit like the stop button, and then that goes off to your friend, your family member, your confidant, your buddy. It goes off to that person, and then they can watch the video and respond whenever they want. It is so wonderful. And you can also watch it at the same time. So you may get a notification if you turn those on to when your friend or your cousin or your family member is on. and you could log on at the same time, and you could go back and forth. Or, well, you can't go back and forth live like you can on FaceTime, but you can see what they're saying, and then you can hit record and respond to it. So it is awesome. And I have found that that is a wonderful way for me to stay connected with people that I love, who are all on opposite schedules all over the country. So again, that activates harmony in your life. And I have to say, laughter and play and the feminine energy, when they get together, it's colorful, it's alive, it's vibrant. One of my favorite things to do is to do group readings at a house where it's all women. The wine is flowing, everyone's laughing, they're eating delicious snacks that people have made, and it's loud, and it's such an awesome energy to walk into. And it's like music. It's like music to Mother Nature's ears. So I would encourage you to reach out, maybe reignite friendships, figure out a way that you can connect. Like I said, I use Marco Polo, and that's a way that works for me because I work a crazy schedule. It's not the same every week. I work nights and weekends, well, mostly Saturdays, not necessarily Sundays, but I am here and there. So anyway, I just feel like Mother Earth this week is reminding you of the music and the harmony, and that could be through friendship, it could be through your community. I know people are starting to gather again. I heard about this neighborhood of families that the women get together once a month, and they do, what's it called? Women Who Wine. And so all the moms in the neighborhood get together and they have some wine, and it's just a nice way to establish support and connection in the community and in their neighborhoods. So if you are a leader, if you like to plan things like that, or an extrovert, this is a really great time to do things like that. So Mother Earth, our theme this week is music and harmony. I love it. So let's get into the rest of the reading here. Mother Earth. What message of healing do you have for the Earth Angels this week? Let's see how this all unfolds. What message of healing do you have for the Earth Angels this week? There we go. Peer pressure. Don't let others coerce you into a decision. You know in your heart what the right choice is. Interesting. So we have harmony in friendships, right? In the music, harmonizing together. And this is kind of the opposite. So again, Mercury is the planet of communication, travel, and electronics. So remember, so many of you have been, myself included, in recluse mode, in hibernation mode. It's been a global lockdown for 2 years. People are just starting to go out again, and energy is flinging all over, right? So again, this is a good time to practice those boundaries, those pauses of if you're being coerced into doing something or pressured to go somewhere, and you're still challenged with being a person who's cocooned for the last couple years, and now going out and being social all the time is becoming overwhelming. Remember, you're not going to know until you know. Being able to pause and practice creating space and asking yourself, is this going to contribute to the quality of life I'm creating for myself? And again, it gives you an inquiry into what is the quality of life that you're creating for yourself, right? Is it mutually supportive relationships? For me, it's faith-filled relationships. It is people that I can bless that can bless me as well? Is this going to nourish my soul? Now, I have to say, going to the grocery store, going to get gas isn't necessarily going to nourish my soul, but I can set that intention, and who knows, maybe I'll see somebody I haven't seen in a long time, or maybe last time I was at the gas tank, I was actually surprised. It was a lot less than I thought it was going to be, so lucky me. So you just never know when you set that intention, but I want to speak to this part of saying no when you want to say no, and practicing saying yes when you want to say yes. And if you're feeling that coercion or that pressure to make a decision, you'll know you're feeling that way because you'll get activated in your stomach and your chest. You'll maybe feel hot, or you'll maybe feel a little anxious, like in front of your body, in between in between your shoulders, like in the collarbone area, between your heart and the collarbone, you start to feel this activation of heat or jitteriness. That's when you know that something that's coming at you energetically is not a vibrational match. Now, it doesn't mean a no forever, but practicing that pause, taking a deep breath, relax, breathe, soften and open, you can just check in with yourself. Is this going to contribute to the quality of life I'm going to create for myself? And you have to remember that when we make a proactive decision for the care of self, for the love of self, most often something else will sacrifice, right? Somebody else's pleasure, somebody else's blessing of your energy, and we have to be okay with it if it's coming from a place of love of self or care of self. And so it's a really great message that's coming up. We're working with this energy of harmony, and then this coming up. Remember, when you bring in more light and you're making changes and you're feeling more alive and energetically abundant, anything that's not a vibrational match of that has to come up and out. People, places, things, and ideas. So it requires the spiritual journey that so many of you are on, myself included. It requires presence. It requires you keeping that ego, lowercase e, in check, that one that wants to bully you or pick on you or fear you, or not fear you, keep you in fear and control and all those fun energies. And again, just awareness of self will help you understand what that feels like, and then you can shift it. You can invite in God, you can invite in the angels, Mother Mary, of course, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, whatever floats your boat, whatever comes to you in that moment, and being able to receive support from the divine. That's what my channel is all about. We do not go it alone, and life is so much easier with God, right? So again, this might be a heads up message of healing. Again, we're making changes and adjustments. We almost need to have these experiences to feel empowered with using our voice. No, thank you, not right now. Let me get back to you. I'm not really sure. Let me check with, fill in the blank. Those are all great ways to communicate a no. All right, so action steps for this week. That being said, stay away from the peer pressure. Stick with the harmony and the music of life. What is the message of action this week? What action steps can the angels take to support their healing? Cards are slow to come out this week. It's good though. It means they're really thinking about it. Oh, I think I'm gonna take that one. Oh no, that's a whole pack. No, I think I'm gonna just take that one. A stick note. I'm feeling it. Clear endeavor. Interesting. So this is 39, which reduces to a 12, which reduces to a 3. Which for me, the 3 is support. It is Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the Trinity energy. Let me see here. It's like the Ascended Masters. You're not working alone. So clear endeavor. I'm actually going to pick out the book because that is an action step. That is in the action step slot. So let's see what they're trying to tell us. So, interesting. Something you truly desire requires a bigger commitment from you. Interesting. This could be physical, emotional, or mental. Identify what your needs are at this time. Could be more of this and less of this, right? Actually commit to this goal and be willing to put in the time to make it become a reality. Commitment plus hard work will assist in bringing your goals to completion. So again, this is speaking to sometimes we have a hard time, we procrastinate on things, we put things off. It's a great message on the cusp of the new moon solar eclipse in Taurus on April 30th and going into the Mercury Retrograde energy. So understand that this energies can be a flushing out. And so if we are procrastinating on something or putting something off, it can come back to you loud and clear and kind of squeeze you to take action. And that could be in so many areas of your life. And so if that's happening, again, and you're feeling it in your body, relax, breathe, soften, and open. Pause in that energy and just ask the divine for the first step. Show me where to start. And this is very common with earth angels. Happens with myself, and I hear it all the time. Like, why can't I just do it? I know what needs to get done, but what happens is there's usually some emotional resistance that we have to look at and explore. What is my fear? What is the hesitation? And that does require stillness and pause and rest and silence, right? And surrender. And then being able to, sometimes it's nice to be able to talk those things out. That's why I think talk therapy is phenomenal, or being able to talk to somebody who really listens and doesn't necessarily listen to respond or problem solve, which sometimes that's really great too. So, and really ultimately sitting with yourself and having this conversation with God. Let me think about an angel. Who's the angel of motivation? I would say Raphael. If I think about an angel of motivation, I would say Raphael, because he is the angel of healing. If we're procrastinating on something, chances are there's resistance in some way, or there's a part of us that is holding us back. Meaning, for example, if you want to write a book or a children's book, or you want to write a blog or start a blog or something with writing, and 10,000 years ago in a past life, or in this lifetime, maybe when you were in grade school, middle school, high school, or college, somebody, teacher, a person of authority, a teacher or parent, told you that you couldn't write, that you needed to take more classes, or just because of the way you approached your writing style, they may not have gotten it and put it down. You might not even remember that, but if you have these ideas and you have a 3 in your life purpose numbers, 3 is the energy that connects with expression and sensitivity. So I have a 3 in my chart, and that did happen to me. I had a college teacher tell me that I had this really animated story that I wrote, and he just didn't appreciate the whimsical approach. And he basically told me sentences and everything was terrible and I shouldn't write anymore. And I had to redo the whole thing. And mind you, I graduated at the top of my class. So, I mean, I wasn't top 10, but I was at the top. And so there's this just confusion. And so I just kind of moved forward and I didn't really write after that. And I still have a hard time sitting down and writing. Although when I do write and I share emails and stuff, people always tell me it's great or they really enjoyed it. So again, this may come up this week as we're working in these energies. So being able to explore, oh yeah, that's right, that was then, this is now. And that's not necessarily me and my truth. That was somebody projecting, or that was somebody influencing me in some way, and being able to pluck that thorn out, right? Just being able to pluck the thorn out, toss it away. Remember that wound might need a little nurturing or a little like salve on it to help it heal, but you want to have this place of pause to reflect on, where could this be coming from? What part of me is scared of the vulnerability of putting yourself out there? So that could be why you may have challenges moving forward with inspired ideas, right? It does also happen if you have a 1, if your life purpose numbers have a 1 in it, which is connected to creativity and confidence. So commitment plus hard work will assist in bringing your goals to completion. Once you decide, give your best to everything that you do. It gives plenty of new opportunities for you to reach your goals in no time. Pay attention to signs along the way as nature works to assist you, right? So here's the book here. If you want to pause it and you want to read it again. I know sometimes people like to listen like as if I'm telling a story, and then other people like to see it for themselves and read it for themselves. So that's clear endeavor. It makes sense. Again, if we are moving forward in energy, we want to move through this. We want to move through life with laughter and play and singing and dancing and having crystal clear endeavors. Again, sometimes checking in, is this project in alignment with the essence of who I am now? Or have I been under influence because somebody says I should? Again, it's just all inquiry and all check in with the retrograde, with Mercury retrograde and communication and all this stuff coming up. What you started maybe last year, maybe you've started collaborating or contracts, or maybe you came up with ideas where you're going to work with others and it's just not panning out, or you're not feeling it. Remember, you have the right to opt out and change your mind. 1000% you have the option and the right to change your mind as it's in accordance with your heart's desires. All right, let me see here. Butterfly Oracle. What are you being gifted with this week? What are you being gifted with this week? Mother Earth, what are the Earth Angels being gifted with this week? Healing from the past. Oh, this is wonderful. I love how this is all coming together. I say that every week. I know that. Well, these are really good readings. Angels are really good. Let's see here. So, with this, with the intention for this can come up. Again, if people don't understand. So, remember, your crew, your network, your people are used to you being a certain way. And you have every right to decide that you don't want to be that anymore. The people pleaser, the caregiver, giving. Let's see, what else? You have the right to decide that you don't want to be available when somebody needs you. There are some circumstances, of course, if you're taking care of somebody who is medically disabled, or if you have a family member that is struggling medically, disabled, things like that, where you've got to give them medicine. That's different. I'm talking about people just popping in your life whenever they need something, and it happens. They don't. We have to take responsibility for our role in that, with always being available, right? But you don't have to always be like that. That's where you can make changes and make adjustments. You can say, no, thank you, not right now, I'm not available. It could create some resistance, right? And that's where this energy is coming up. Healing from the past. Who was I then, and who am I now? What actions did I take then that didn't support me in my own journey, and how can I make adjustments? Remember, it's self-inquiry. I just feel a lot of that this week. and discomfort. But remember, the discomfort and the adversity and the challenge is such a great opportunity to grow and to shine and to evolve and to shift, all those fun, fancy words. So people might come back from your past. Things may come up. You may be triggered in ways that you thought you moved through. You can also ask the angels to help you see things from a different perspective, right? Sometimes if we have an endeavor or we set intentions, the way we thought it needed to be done might not be working out. So kind of rising above that mountaintop and being able to look from above, that's what the angels do when you invite them in. They show you a different perspective, or they show you what you may not be seeing, which is really awesome. So again, I feel like this is the theme, this is the end game, and these things can come up this week in order to flush out so that you can thrive in your life, so you can feel more energetically abundant and alive for longer periods of time. It's feeling that wholeness and completeness within yourself, feeling whole and complete within yourself without having to go anywhere, do anything, or be with anybody, right? And being able to find nourishment in that holy, sacred silence. And then from there, that's where we take inspired action forward. What do I feel like? I do that often when I have to go out and do a bunch of errands. I just kind of pause. I'm saying, okay, what would be the best route? And I just pause. I'm like, where should I start? And then I might get like an imagery or a storefront or something might pop up in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then I get in the car. I'm like, okay, where should I go next? I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because I didn't go here, down the street to here, down the street to here, pit stop here. And again, you just want to create this space to be aware and check in with the divine, saying, do you have a better route for me? Is there a better course of action here? Especially when it comes with healing with the past, empowering yourself with positive experiences going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. So, final card here from the Animal Archangel cards. Archangel Animal. So, Archangel Animals, what is a message of love to support the Earth Angels this week, especially if, like, the tectonic plates start shifting? Let's see. What is the message of love this week for the Earth Angels to comfort, support, teach, and inspire them? All right. Ooh, Bear. Use power with wisdom. I love it. So Archangel Uriel and Josephine. I have been seeing bear. Grizzly bear is on my animal totem. Grizzly bear was one of the first animal medicine that was gifted to be part of my journey on my totem. Bear sits on my right side, and so I know a lot about bear. If you're dreaming about bear, it means that the feminine energy is speaking to you, the womb energy is speaking with you. So it makes sense that as you're shifting in energies and things are coming out, to make room for you to have a peaceful, Full life, to have a powerful life, right? Peaceful life, powerful life, an energy of joy and laughter, a joyful life, right? With companionship and partnership and friendship and an abundance with coworkers, and you enjoying the work that you do. You can absolutely have it all, right? It's just we have to work through any roadblocks or bumps that could stand in the way of worthiness, value, self-esteem, right? That's all the stuff that we have to face. This is a really great time, especially because it's spring and we're birthing new ideas and new things. So having patience with yourself in your journey. Remember, the spiritual journey is lifelong. It's not about next week. It's not about next month. It's about this lifelong journey that we're on of self-discovery. And so bear medicine is reminding you to use power with wisdom. And this is your power within. I feel like this speaks to the part of pausing and inviting in the divine for assistance and asking that energy how to move forward, the energy of love. How would I move forward in love in this situation? Or am I moving forward with control and fear and influence in some way through the ego? So this, again, I just feel like it's a really great week to be mindful. So Archangel Uriel is the angel that works with the emotional energy. Let me move this over here to the light. He works with the energy of emotion. So if you are feeling that emotional roller coaster this week, again, it's all good. It's just, it requires attention and kindness and compassion. So you can invite Uriel in. Uriel is the angel of forgiveness. So if you're feeling the energy of grudges or bitterness or non-trusting or resentful, it's all stuff that can come up. You want to be able to look at it, invite Uriel in and ask him to show you the perspective or show you what you need to know or what lessons you're learning in that experience, and that may help you to be able to accept the experience. Again, you may not like it, but if there's something that you can't change, like a way a person is or an experience or words that have said, moving to that place of acceptance can help you with forgiveness. From there, you can decide how you want to move forward in a way that works for you, that's right and comfortable for you. And so Uriel's color is yellow, and he is also the keeper of the inner light. So if you're feeling like your shine is dulled a little bit, you're feeling like you're giving a lot, you can ask Uriel to ignite that light within, that fire within, especially if you're having a hard time with being motivated, or you notice that you may be self-sabotaging your endeavors or your success or your brilliance. You can invite Bear in and Uriel in. So Angel Jovial is the angel that helps us to clear our space. So sometimes we can get this energy can activate this energy of chaos inside. It's just a buildup of like jumbled up chaos of energy. So Jovial, if you invite her in, she can help you clear out that energy, almost like the fog. She's the light that comes in, the heat that shines on the fog, that helps the fog dissipate. So you can call on her for assistance if you're feeling that energy. If one of your projects is to clear out that basement, clear out that trunk, clean up your pantry, those are some things that Jovial can help you have inspired action with to get it done, so that you'll feel better, so that you can release. If you want to simplify, I've been saying this for at least a year and a half, this is a really great time to simplify, downsize, get rid of things like the big stuff that's looming, that's requiring a lot of attention. I know a lot of you are making these adjustments and simplifying in your life. If you're having a hard time getting motivated, here's your sign. Jovial can help you with this. She's also the angel that helps to beautify our thoughts. So if you are having a hard time with self-esteem and worth and value, right? If you're having a hard time setting boundaries because people are angry or they're upset that you're not accessible or available or contributing to that dysfunction anymore, if you don't want to, Jovial can support you, and she can speak to you kindly and nurture your heart. Or you can invite her in if you're around somebody who may be prickly, who may be hot, who may be activated, who might be uncomfortable to be around. Again, everybody's going through stuff. You can invite Jovial in to stand between you And she can almost be like a mirror to that person and kind of reflect that energy back without you having to go there. So she's really great. And Michael is really great to call in those situations if there's like just complaining or anger. And, you know, I mean, it's kind of everywhere right now and it's just uncomfortable. And again, people are waking up, people are shifting, people are or not, and they're fighting it, and things are getting harder for them. So remember, we just want to love people for where they're at. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to be around them, with them, holding their hands, fixing, saving, changing, and making better. That's old news, old ways of doing things, and we just don't have the energy for that anymore. They need to do it on their own with themselves, because you know as well as I do that you are where you are in your life because of the pain, because of the challenges, and because of your fire to grow and learn, evolve, and to bring more peace into your life, which eventually brings more happiness and joy and laughter and play, right? So Bear, can you support you this week with the wisdom? Bear can also protect you. So I love how Bear and Josephine came in. They can stand in front of you, reflect that energy back to the person so you're not absorbing it. What else? Speaking from the heart. I feel like that's another message here. Again, if you need to say no or make adjustments because you're creating more of this in your life, and if you're healing from the past, you need to have conversations or write letters. You can call in the Bear energy to help speak from the heart. Uriel as well, from that place of light. So awesome. All right. Well, I think that's all I'm going to say for this week. Excuse me. Let me close space. Thanking all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you, especially Mother Earth and Bear energy, and all of Earth's energies that assisted with this reading. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And I talked about life purpose numbers if you're curious about that. So the numbers I work with are life purpose numbers based on what your soul has come into this life to learn about. So there's life path numbers. You can do your life path numbers, which bring to a single digit. The energy, that numerology that I work with is what your soul, the themes of your life that your soul has come into this life to learn and grow, the school of life. And then from there, once you know that, you know how to apply those numbers and those themes and that energy in work or how to be in service of others. It doesn't have to necessarily be work where you get paid. I mean, ideally that's great, but that's not always necessarily the case. Sometimes people don't need financial support and they have the time. And so that's why I say this is how knowing these numbers and the themes and the energy to it and why we've had these experiences we have had in our lives helps us to understand how we might be of service to others, and then the soul mission and the spiritual journey merge together. So that is a reading on my calendar that I do via video chat and in the office. So that is the life purpose session. It is a 90-minute session, and it is a great start and remember, I'm not going to tell you what job to get. That's not what I do. I will give you all the information to support you so that you can make your best decisions going forward, because I have seen over and over and over again that there are multiple paths that we can take in our life that all lead to the same place. So information, wisdom, knowledge is power. So that's why it's one of my favorite sessions that I offer, especially for those who are going through career transitions. I work with women who are in their 50s and 60s and 70s, and young women who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s. There's definitely men that are starting to come in who are deciding to make career transitions in their life. And I also do couples who are curious about how their life purpose soul numbers work together and what they're learning from each other. I haven't done a lot of them because I don't really promote that too much, but yes, there is this couples session. I think it's on there as couples life purpose. I don't even remember now, or couples divine guidance. And the couples come in and I do their numbers and I compare them and really what their challenges are. They're usually shocked by the challenges that I probably say they have based on their numbers and the challenges that they're actually having. It's pretty cool. So it helps couples to enhance and empower each of themselves and have compassion for each other in their relationship. So that's there too. If you know any couples who are really into this type of work, it's numerology, it's mainstream. Again, it works with their numbers and their birth date. So anyway, all that to say, how you can connect with me is in the notes below this video, and you can book appointments online. It's super easy. And that's all I have to say for today. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. I love your soul. I love your energy and how you are going out and shining in this world. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.